So DJI just launched the brand new Mavic 3 Pro, which looks like an amazing drone. Personally, I don't need it because I already have the Mavic 3 Classic and the Mini 3 Pro, which is more than enough for my needs. But with this update also comes a brand new DJI Fly update, the DJI Fly 1.10.0. And I've been out testing this with the Mini 3 Pro to see if there has been any changes to the behavior of the drone, which I usually do when there is a new DJI Fly app. This DJI Fly app is for the RCN1 controller as well as the DJI RC controller. I've been out testing the RCN1 because at the moment I didn't have the updates on the DJI RC. But one thing that's awesome with this update is that it brings compatibility with the goggles too. And as you can see, I have this connected now, trying to update the goggles to the latest firmware and trying to get them to connect to the Mini 3 Pro with the DJI RC. I haven't got this to work yet, but it is available and it is possible now. So if you have the goggles too, make sure that you update everything to the latest firmware, the drone, the Mini 3 Pro and the DJI RC controller or the RCN1 first, and then connect your phone to the goggles too, and then do like me, keep on trying. But let's take a look at the flight that I have with the Mini 3 Pro and the latest DJI Fly app 1.10.0, just in case you don't have the goggles 2 and want to connect those with the Mini 3 Pro or the Mavic 3 Classic. So let's find out and see if it's safe to update to the latest DJI Fly app or not. And the first test I did was just to fly around and see if there was any changes to the behavior of the drone, and I could not notice anything. Now what I was curious about was the auto ascend issues which I've had in the past. And I also did a full factory reset of the Mini 3 Pro before I did this test, and this is also the first flight after I did a factory reset. And as we can see on the height level here, it is consistent at 14 meters. And if we go into settings, we can also see that the obstacle avoidance system is set to bypass, which is the setting that I usually have the auto ascend issues with. But now after doing the factory reset, I don't have any issues anymore, which is awesome. And like I said, the flying around here is just as before. There's no issues experienced. Now I also did some 48 megapixel photos here, and these came out pretty awesome. No issues taking these photos either. And another thing which I usually do when I do these tests are the typical quick shots, because this is something that I use all the time when I'm out traveling, and I really want these to perform optimal. So doing a basic helix here with a radius of 30 meters performed well, no issues, and it was just smooth as butter. I can see the center point is moving a little bit here, but nothing major. Now as for vertical shooting, the camera rotates perfectly and I'm able to capture some nice shots in vertical mode, which is also looking good. Now another thing which I added to the test was also the use of a tripod mode, or the lowest setting in the cine mode, and this works perfectly fine. The Mini 3 is moving super slow and I'm able to capture some really nice slow motion, or not slow motion, but some slow cinematic shots of my son here at the waterfront, which looks amazing. So I'm really stoked that we finally have this tripod mode on the Mini 3 Pro as well as the Mavic 3 Classic. Now also doing some sports mode, just flying around here, and no issues experienced. It works perfectly fine. And I'm also ending this flight here with a return to home just to see how accurate this is. Like I said, I did a complete factory reset of my Mini 3 Pro, and that could also be some of the issues that I needed to correct with the factory reset for it to actually land properly and land in place exactly, or within a meter at least of where I took off. Now looking at the footage here, I can actually see that this landed about a meter away from where I took off, and that's within a reasonable limit if you ask me. So no issues with the return to home either. The most important thing is that it actually returns home, and it did exactly that, so nothing to worry about. Now I also did a panorama photo here which ended like this, looks pretty awesome if you ask me, no issues, even though we had some really high winds and a few high gusts as well. The Mini 3 Pro kept up with that wind and provided this image, which to me looks pretty decent. Now I also wanted to finish up with some spotlight, which is one of the features I use all the time when I'm out traveling. I'm not using the point of interest that much, but it's a nice feature to have as well, and both of these performed excellent. Now one of the things that I've been using a lot, and this is with my Mavic 3 Classic, is the active track, and I also wanted to test this by foot. Usually I test this on my bike or when I am out driving, but this time it was a perfect opportunity to actually test it when I'm walking. So as we can see here in the footage, it actually tracks me pretty good. There is some wobbling from side to side, but that is something that you can expect. So if I move this over to the parallel tracking, you can also see that this is performing pretty good. Now there is one thing with the parallel tracking, and that is that you need to keep your drone pretty close for it to actually pick up on you. Otherwise it will just stop and hover. It will still focus on you, but it won't move besides you. So this performed excellent if you ask me, and I'm really excited about the results there. So all in all, I can't find any reason why you shouldn't update to this latest DJI Fly app. It's completely safe to update, and for me it actually performs better, and that's because I did a factory reset of my drone. So a good tip is, if you have some issues with your Mini 3 Pro, try a factory reset. It might, most of the situations, it will correct that issue. It's just me being lazy, not doing it earlier. I could probably have done it 2, 3, maybe 5 months ago, and I wouldn't have experienced that auto ascend issues which I've had with the Mini 3 Pro. I no longer have that, and I am extremely stoked about that. It feels like I have a brand new drone. Now, like I said, it's completely safe to update to the latest DJI Fly app, and if you do that and you update all your devices, you are also able to connect the DJI goggles too. Still struggling with that, but I will figure out a way to do that and come up with a new video of the goggles too, with the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 Classic. And let me know in the comments if you've already figured out a way of connecting these. That would be awesome. It's pretty straightforward if you follow the app. It could be an overload on the servers, which is causing some people to successfully update to the latest version of all of this, or it could be something that we experienced in the last DJI Fly update, which was 1.9.8, which DJI corrected with 1.9.9 the day after. So let me know in the comment section below, guys, and I will try to get this to work. If you found any value, hit that like button, and I will see you in the next video.